Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged.
Guilty as charged.
Guilty as charged. That's my guy.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Guilty as Charged podcast, coming to you live after a convincing Chargers win on Thursday Night Football, 37-10 over the Minnesota Vikings. My name is Steven, and I am the host, as always. Joining me is my good friend Tyler for probably the biggest GAC agenda I think we've ever seen in an individual game before. Tyler, what's up, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic, and sure, we can start with that. The week that we've had as a podcast, individually, overall, you name it. So, McConkey, Kamani Vidal, kind of a Insdorf and Schoen thing kind of last year. Trey Harris, obviously, for me this year. Gazin for Insdorf, this year as well. 4 touchdowns. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool in a Chargers primetime win. And then, not related to the game, but Greg Rosenthal apparently enjoys watching the film reviews and has watched our film reviews before, which is notable because he talked about us heading into this game, but we did not have a film review for the Colts game, which means this was a previous week, which means that's multiple episodes that Greg Rosenthal has watched or listened to for us. So you know what? The vibes are pretty good. Chargers win. We're winners. I feel pretty good. You?
Yeah, the vibes are pretty good, man. It means a lot. And you and I both are kind of like anti-attention when it comes to bragging about our work and stuff like that. But to have one of the giants of the NFL media world say that he regularly watches our show is pretty freaking cool, man. Like it's, he is somebody who's like one of the OGs in the NFL podcast world. And so for him to come out and say unprompted on his show, I watched this great podcast called the Guilty as Charged podcast. And then during, on Twitter, when we brought it up, he was like, I love the film reviews. Great stuff. Keep it up. Like, that's pretty cool, man. Like it's really, really cool to see that. I got a shout out on Wake Up Barstool, which is on Fox Sports today. Yeah. So it was a cool game. I would have been happy just as a person, even if the game went poorly today. And then the game went really greatly today. So it's the vibes are really, really high right now. Our group chat was a lot of fun today. And it's just like really, it means a lot. We don't do the film reviews for attention. We do them because we're sickos and we love watching film. So to have someone like Greg come out and say, hey man, like that's great stuff. It truly does mean a lot to us.
Yeah, so thank you for everyone who's, if you were the like that sent it to his algorithm for him to watch it or listen to it, I appreciate it. All the support is awesome. So we're not going to focus on us too much. Then we'll talk about more of the Chargers game, but it's just been a very, very nice last few days for us. So thank you.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Okay, before we get to more actual game takeaways, have to give a quick shout out to our friends over at PrizePicks. Hopefully, all of you guys listening were able to pick up Kamani Vidal and Aranda Gadsden in fantasy football. Hopefully, you stayed patient with Lad McConkey, and hopefully that patience paid off in PrizePicks as well. So, obviously, this episode of the Guilty as Charged podcast is brought to you by PrizePicks. Being right can get you paid on PrizePicks, so don't miss any of the excitement this football season on PrizePicks, where it is good to be right. Mentioned this a couple of times now, but they have a great couple of new features, including the ability to stack the same player in multiple statistical categories in your same lineup. So if you pick Justin Herbert rushing yards more this week, passing yards was probably not a hit, but passing touchdowns was a hit. That's a good example of how you can kind of use this feature to your advantage over on PrizePicks with the stack feature. You can also follow PrizePicks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one simple click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on PrizePicks. So go download the app PrizePicks today. Use the code GUILTY to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code GUILTY to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineups. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Okay, so in terms of initial takeaways here, you mentioned some GAC agenda here a little bit.
Sure.
I kind of want to start off talking
Mm.
about the Chargers Foundation, and it was a rough week for Joe Ortiz on social media. A lot of people calling for his head this week, but I think over the this whole season, really, we are seeing the foundation that the Chargers have built over the last two draft classes in particular. And several of those guys made key plays today in this game. Several of them had touchdowns, sacks, you name it. The last two draft classes are really, really coming together for the Los Angeles Chargers. And just kind of pulling up the list so I make sure I don't miss everybody. You start last year, Joe Alt, who, if you ever wonder what the value of left tackle, watch the tape last week against a worse defense, and then watch the tape this week against a better defense. And Joe Alt is right there with you. Ladd McConkey, 88 yards and a touchdown tonight. Justin E. Boygby, 2 sacks, 3 quarterback hits tonight. Tariq still did leave the game injured, so we'll see there, but he's been fantastic for the Chargers. Cam Hart had 2 pass breakups and a tackle for loss today. Kamani Vidal, second 100-yard game rushing in the last 3 weeks, so a ton of value there. Omarion Hampton was a star, is going to be a star. We saw Trey Harris get his first touchdown tonight after blocking his ass off for the last few games, not getting a ton of opportunities. Gets a big opportunity tonight, makes it count. Jamari Caldwell didn't get a lot of opportunities tonight because the Vikings didn't run the football at all, but he's been awesome. Orlando Gadsden, huge opportunity over the last 2 games. Broke Mike Ditka's record for most yards and 2 touchdowns in a 2-game span from a rookie tight end. That was in 1961. So pretty rare company for him. And then RJ Mickens has an interception tonight. That's a lot of good players, good value the Chargers are getting from the last 2 draft classes. So I think there are some valid criticisms of Joe Ortiz, but this is a great foundation that the Chargers have built. And the coaching staff turned Tom Telesco's worst draft into a great draft by getting Quentin Johnston to hit and by getting Deion Henley to hit, although he's played a little bit, rough. It looked better tonight, though. So the last 3 draft classes for the Chargers have turned into some really, really good players, and some of these players who we haven't really seen pop yet. So it shows up like this is why you hire Joe Ortiz, and hopefully we can get to a point where free agency kind of matches up a little bit more. But these 2 draft classes in particular from Joe Ortiz have paid massive dividends for the Chargers, and tonight several of them made key plays to give the Chargers such a big, convincing win on primetime.
I think every GM or most GMs say, we're going to build through the draft, especially a lot of new GMs. Like, we're going to draft well, we're going to build through the draft, yada, yada, yada. We heard that with the previous regime, and I'd said it last episode, but I'll do it again just for comparison. DJ Fluker, Manti Te'o, Keenan Allen, Steve Williams, Torek Williams, Brad Sorensen, Jason Verrett, Jeremiah Tachu, Chris Watt, Ryan Carruthers, Marion Grice, Tevin Reese. You go back to what Steven just listed off, and there's a pretty noticeable difference there. And I think that's 1, Joe Ortiz and what he's done, 2, the number of at-bats he's had, and 3, the coaching staff. Like you said, it's not just that the last 2 classes have been good, but they maybe no one from the 2023 class is going to be a superstar player by the end of the day. I don't know. But whatever they were before Jim Harbaugh and the coaching staff got here, they're significantly better now. Or they're at least getting on the field. I mean, Deion Henley was unplayable his rookie year, I guess. And now, well, he wasn't playing that great recently. But I think we all can agree that he's been better overall than what he showed, which was nothing his rookie year, QJ, Thule, etc. So you now have 3 classes. And I mean, look, no one's going to love this. I think you could technically include even Zion in there. I think overall this season, having at least his best year, which is positive after having some rough stretches there. So the influence this group has had and the foundation that they've built, we'll see who plays long-term meaningful roles for this team. Like RJ Mickens, in theory, was not supposed to be playing a ton this year, but he was out there and he got a pick today and has had some good moments. Kamani Vidal, technically the goal wasn't to have him play a ton. They had him on the practice squad. It's not like they had really, really big plans for him this year. True. But he's up there, next man up, and they're making it work. And he's obviously been playing great 2 of the last 3 games. So it's nice that the Chargers have had this foundation to where not just that there are good players that are playing, but I mean, we'll talk about the injuries that they have had. And yes, when you lose Joe Alt, it's just you feel that one.
Yeah.
But you lose, a Deshaun Hand, you lose a Tito Agbonia, and it's like, okay, well, here's Jamari Caldwell, and here's Justin Obuigbe, who's having his own step forward this year. It's been really great to see the guys from the first pick to generally the 6th pick, 7th round pick. We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Yeah.
7th round, we'll work on it. But I'll take it, honestly. It's been really great to see.
Yeah. 4th round pick has been much better this season. This past year with Kyle Kennard, we'll see. But yeah, throwing away 7th round picks, do not recommend, even if they're not necessarily great. So these guys just deserve a lot. Obviously, the players deserve credit. The coaches deserve credit. But I wanted to start with this because just given the narratives of the week, and we can kind of pivot to the other guy who was the narrative of the week here in a second. But these young players for the Chargers all showing up. PFF has Kamani Vidal with 76 yards after contact today. So it's not like this was the Miami game was kind of a lot of like the Dolphins are just bad. But this game, man, we saw like 3 or 4 Kamani Vidal runs where he was just running through contact. The one play where the Chargers were going to run a counter concept to the right, and he just decided to bounce it and almost scored his 2nd touchdown. Awesome game from Kamani Vidal. Joe Alt currently has allowed 1 pressure on PFF. We'll see how that changes. Was a monster in the run game. So you see all up and down just kind of the vision for the Chargers for the long term with all of these guys, and hopefully a lot of them can obviously stay healthy going forward and continue to just provide value for this team. So that was my big takeaway from today is just like these young guys, man, are stepping up left and right here. What was your big takeaway from tonight, Tyler?
Yeah, I want to start a little more macro with this one. And that's if these are the players, then let's credit the coaches. To me, it's looking at this game, whether it's Greg Roman, Jesse Minter, Jim Harbaugh, where did your effect go, if at all? Even it wasn't, I think Jesse Minter's effect is greater than Greg Roman's, but they've all had some sort of effect, I think, this season, positively, negatively. And that just basically went away the last couple of weeks. And it really, if it's defense, the opposing offense has their way with anything. And by the way, like the Colts are a Super Bowl team. That's I can't believe that team, the Chargers are today, played 4 days ago against the Colts.
Yeah.
But the Minter's defense just had not stopped anybody. Greg Roman's group, some positives recently, but they were injured. And then it was, I don't know, Herbert do something really cool and things were able to work. And then Jim Harbaugh, what is your effect? Are you always going to get steamrolled in this case? Are you losing that fastball? A lot of question marks about a lot of this coaching staff. And you and I had said, hey, still patience here. A little less patience with Greg Roman, but with Minter and with Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh, let's have some patience here. Let's wait to see what happens when these guys come back. This is a very backs against the wall moment. And then I said, it was like what Braden Poco said in his video about the Dolphins game. That primetime game, it's, okay, are we going to phone it in and the season is over? Or are we going to rise to the occasion? Are we going to just go out there and have some fun and go win? And I have to credit everybody for what they did. So as far as the first half offense, that was their best EPA of the season. And not just theirs, the NFL's.
Yeah.
No team this season has a better EPA in the first half than what the Chargers did. And that set the tone for the rest of the game. There was the defense certainly helped too. But once the Vikings knew they couldn't stop him, there was no answer. Like Brian Flores is going to have nightmares about Justin Herbert for the next 4 years until he plays him again, if he faces him as a Vikings defensive coordinator again. So that set the tone. And then conversely, the pass rush was amazing. But what I think we were all looking for is this run defense. And I didn't think that Jordan Mason would have 250 yards. I even thought, hey, I think you and I agreed 70 yards would be great. 70 sounds fine. 0% rushing success rate by the Chargers run defense. Now, it's not like the Vikings were able to run it 25 times. They couldn't exactly lean on their run game, but it was just the coaching overall. You can really tell, and we'll get to Herbert and the individuals too. But my main takeaway is just everybody came to play. The energy was there. The execution generally was there. Outside of 4 plays, kind of in the middle of the third quarter there, it was practically flawless football. And I have to give credit to the coaching staff after a lot of us had doubted them for the last week.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I think you felt the energy a lot more of the defense right away. And, on that first drive that the Vikings had, they go 6 plays and a punt. So 5 plays, I guess. They hit Wentz twice, and Jesse Minter blitzed, I think, both times. And I didn't get to catch on PFF the blitz rate today, but it felt different. And obviously the Chargers were, winning and convincingly. And so it feels like they were a lot more aggressive from a schematic standpoint. And maybe that's who you just kind of have to be going forward, so these guys can play fast and play free. I really enjoyed the way that they were, trying to change the picture on Carson Wentz. It seemed like they were doing a lot of let's show 8, let's drop 5 of them, let's show 8, let's rush 5. Like they were really messing with Carson Wentz quite a bit. And obviously the Christian Darrisaw went out of the game, I think, on like the 3rd drive. So that definitely changed things. And, Odafe Owe was cooking, and Mekhi Becton was cooking, and Thule had a really good game, and Iboibe had a really good game. But just the energy, I felt like, was so much more noticeable. And that's what you hit on in the preview, is like, can this defense in particular just get back to playing free? And obviously Khalil kind of highlighted the energy aspect of things on Monday when he spoke about it. And when you have backups, we saw with the 49ers on Sunday, they're playing with the backups of backups right there. And just sometimes on defense, you just need to be aggressive and physical and play fast. And sometimes that's enough. And we saw that tonight, I think, with the defense. And then offensively, obviously, they definitely caught a break with Isaiah Rodgers dropping that interception. But then they followed that up with a 14-play drive, 83 yards and a touchdown, 8-play drive, 59 yards and a touchdown, 7 plays, 44, and that missed field goal, which people are going to blame Cam Dicker, obviously, but that was one of the worst long snaps I've seen in a long time. And then Rick Lovato had another one later on in the game. So, like, Josh Harris, please come back very soon.
Yeah.
And then after the missed field goal, they had 9 plays, 94 yards on that drive. So it just felt like the Chargers, they flushed the game. They were able to be physical, play fast on both sides, and I think it paid immediate dividends for them tonight.
I really didn't even think they'd be able to play as well as they did. Like, I don't think there was new installs all of a sudden, but with the short turnaround, what's the new thing going to be? So them just playing as fast as they did, even when there was a holding call or whatever it was, where Dan Henley got the sack and Khalil Mack basically caused the sack, but then Dan Henley got the sack. Like, there's just an energy and all of that energy in, even if they don't, make the play. Khalil Mack at one point, you could just see him. I think it was after the Herbert interception, was just like, he was 2nd down. He made the run stop and he gets up, and you can just see like just the leadership oozing from him. He's chirping at everybody, telling everybody, making like, there's just a noticeable difference with Khalil Mack, and obviously Joe Alt as well. But Khalil Mack, just that energy in particular, I can't believe it was so easy. I was at a fundraiser for my school, watching it on the TV at a place you get pizza and whatnot. And that's I just could tell through the screen. And I get home and I see that. You can just feel it through the screen. Yeah. And that's really impressive that they had all of that with losing Derwin James. And we'll get to all the injuries, but Alt and Mac make a difference. Shocker. Mac, his comments about, to the media, like, how are you feeling, Khalil Mack? Yeah, I'm basically going to be out there and I'm going to die on the field, and you're going to have to take me off the field. And like, but I really do think, coaches can't maybe speak through the media, or shouldn't, but players and that kind of public statement, not calling anybody out, but just saying, yeah, I'm sick of this. This really sucks. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to whoop someone's ass. Who's with me? Because I'm not coming off the field. So are you going to quit? I'm not. And you don't look at Khalil Mack and tell him you're going to quit. So everybody was out there. And I just really, really think that setting of the tone early on is A, what makes him special, and B, why you keep Khalil Mack around. Even if the play, and the play was great. He was awesome tonight. But even if the play isn't, elite as it once was, he more than makes up for everything else with the leadership aspects.
Yeah, 100%. I think you feel his juice just immediately with everybody else. And I think everybody's jobs are so much easier. And you feel like, there was that play where Denzel Perryman almost had the tackle for loss, and then he kind of like bounced off him as Denzel Perryman kind of does at times. Well, Khalil is setting that edge, and he gives Perryman, a free rushing lane right towards the running back. And so Perryman's another one. I thought just a couple of really, really big, physical plays that I think set the tone early for this defense. So I think the coaches deserve credit. I think the Chargers leaders deserve credit. Justin Herbert obviously deserves a lot of credit. So it felt like everybody just kind of raised their play this week. And, sometimes these Thursday night games can suck. I'm sure for the Vikings, it's not going to be fun. Obviously, you lose Christian Darrisaw in this game. You get blown out. Carson Wentz can barely, move his shoulder. Brian O'Neill missed tonight's game, stuff like that. For them, Thursday night football sucks. For the Chargers, man, who just needed to flush this week and just reset, refocus. And now they are able to go out and have this mini little bye week, rest up a little bit. We'll see about some of these injuries next week, but the good news is they do play the Tennessee Titans next week. So it just felt like get right games in the NFL don't really exist, honestly. But it felt like tonight was a get right game. Like the offense was a lot more aggressive. They were more free. The defense was a lot more aggressive, more free. There was more energy overall. There were still a couple of bad penalties and some special teams mistakes, which we can talk about. But overall, the vibes were just different tonight. And I think that's coaches, players, everybody. The fan base was electric tonight. The jerseys were fucking awesome tonight. So it just, the vibes are high right now. And I think this is really great for the Chargers moving into their mini bye. Titans game next week and potentially give them some more momentum. So it feels good after it felt so bad on Sunday against the Colts.
Yeah, that was not great. Greg Rosenthal did not watch our film review because, again, we didn't do it. There was no business talking about that, watching that. It's nice that the Chargers, is everything fixed? I don't know. I will say there were some comments on Twitter where it's like, well, is this just a bad Vikings team or the Chargers just really good? Did they get lucky? I just think the Chargers, in a way, even with all their injuries, caught the Vikings at their own right time. They're not quite back to McCarthy. They lost some of their own players in game, before the game, concussions, whatever. I think they caught them at the right time. But as we previewed in the show, in our preview show, yes, we picked the Chargers to win, but this defense had been playing awesome and giving them lots of fits. They did just play the Eagles and play them really close most of that game. This Viking team, I think they beat the Steelers. No, they lost to the Steelers, I want to say, in Ireland or wherever the heck they ended up playing. Point is, the Vikings, even with Carson Wentz and all their injuries, have been competitive. Win or lose, they've been pretty competitive. That is a very good head coach across from them. That's a very good play caller, very good defensive coordinator across from them. Plenty of talent on that team. So to beat them like this too, give the Chargers a lot of credit. I don't want this to seem like, oh, they just beat on the Miami Dolphins. And somehow this game was better. But this is not like that. Yeah,
I think the offense definitely felt we've all watched what it's like to have backup offensive tackles out there, and the Vikings were doing that today as well. But after the first two drives for the first drive for each team, I was like, okay, this could potentially be a game here. You're talking about the Vikings. Obviously, the Chargers they force the 5 and out, but the Vikings were around midfield. So I was like, okay, we'll see how this maintains. And then the Chargers, obviously, that dropped interception changed things, right? But Brian Flores blitzed Herbert on the first 8 of Herbert's first 8 dropbacks, and they hit Herbert 4 times on that first drive. And so I was like, okay, this is gonna be a grinded out game. Herbert looks like he's kind of on one, but this is gonna be a grinded out game for sure. This is gonna be a close game, and then the Chargers offense just hit their stride like we have not seen. So you shared the EPA per play stat. It's the first time they scored over 30 points. It was their best performance of the Jim Harbaugh era, I would say, in terms of overall offense. So it just seems like they potentially found their formula, and I think the balance of the run game really worked. I think the spreading of the football with Ladd and Arande and Keenan has his third down moments, and we didn't really get to see Quentin Johnson a whole lot tonight, so I'm curious what the tape says there a little bit. But I think it started out as a game. I was like, okay, they're going to have to grind this one out. And then the offense just kind of found their stride and hit that next gear. And I think that's that's really what it was today. I the Vikings defense is still very, very good.
Mhm.
Jonathan Grenard had some moments tonight. Jonathan Allen had some good moments tonight. Isaiah Rodgers had the potential one interception. They had another interception later. So I just think the Chargers offense with Joe Alt back just kind of hit their stride, and that was all she wrote. But the Vikings are still a really, really good team, even going forward, I would say.
Yeah, they felt very confident. And one of the things that really impressed me with this one was Herbert as a scrambler. He's had more than 62 yards in a game before, but the rushing attempts were fantastic. And he almost had a rushing touchdown as well, just got called back. I didn't see the replay. People were saying phantom false start. I don't know if you felt differently about that one.
It was a very minimal, like little jolt from Foster Stroll. But I'm like, the Eagles false start on every single tush push. We don't call that, but we call a little jolt from Foster Sorrell. It didn't make any sense to me. But
I gotcha. As far as the scrambling goes, we've seen, even in the Commanders loss, we watched that film, and you watch this Colts film and all that sort of stuff. And despite the number of points they score, it's like, wow, Herbert's doing just ungodly, incredible things every day because of the scrambling, keeping things alive. Yeah. What seemed so specifically good about this game too, beyond just the rushing, it really felt like in some games I've seen Herbert step up and maybe like just by a little bit walk into a sack. Like, oh, Becton lets a pressure through. Herbert steps up. He probably could have avoided that, steps into that sack, maybe. This game, it just felt like if there was 2 inches of space, somehow Herbert was able to run through it. Like you didn't need much for him. It just felt like he was so good at operating in the tiniest of spaces this game. But then also he could break it to the sideline and beat the edge rusher. He was awesome this game. The throw to Trey Harris, where he's rolling to the right, then he steps up just right through 5 different individuals and just lasers it to Trey Harris. Not that Trey Harris is super covered, but it's just being able to navigate the way he did. It was incredible. This is one of my favorite scrambling games of his. Yes, there are better pure rushing performances, but as a combination of keeping plays alive. I mean, there's another play earlier, I think very early in the first quarter. He makes one guy miss. He makes a second guy miss. I think he maybe picks up 2 yards. But you know what it wasn't? A loss of 9, and then a loss of 4 that it also could have been. Just an incredible scrambling performance from him.
Yeah, it was the intentionality of things for me, where we've always known that Herbert has this ability, and he's shown, some glimpses of it here and there. Chris Rim obviously wrote an article today talking about his scrambling ability, where he's averaging over 11 yards per scramble. Was averaging over 11 yards per scramble heading into today, and now you're talking about 7 for 62. So that number is going to continue to go up. So just like the intentionality of him, being able to scramble like this, and the broadcast did a really good job. After the first couple scrambles, Herbert steps up, and you see the linebacker and the safety both look towards him and like, okay, we're going to go now. And then he hits Keenan Allen over the middle for a big 3rd down conversion. So it's a really, really important aspect of his game. The touchdown to Trey Harris, insane play by him, where it's a designed rollout, but then he kind of cut, they're trying to throw to the flat to Kamani or flat to Aronde Gadsden, and those are both taken away. So you see him cut upfield a little bit, and then all the Vikings defenders start converging, and then he just rockets it to Trey Harris on the other side. It's such an important aspect of his game that if he can continue to do it, we saw it in the first 3 weeks. It was, I think, one of the biggest differences of the last 3 weeks versus the first 3 weeks is the scrambling kind of went away because there's just instant pressure. And so he's trying to get rid of the ball instead of trying to make plays is a really big difference. So as long as he can continue to, it's not going to be 62 yards every game, but as long as he can continue to give them, a couple scrambles a game, I think it just really, really helps. And we've all seen it, against Patrick Mahomes, how much it matters when Mahomes can scramble, or obviously Lamar Jackson is a different, freak, quarterback, kind of human, but Josh Allen and his scrambling ability, it just changes the math a little bit for teams, for defenses playing against him. So if he can continue to do this, it just helps elevate the ceiling of the offense overall.
Yeah, it really does. It's a bit of energy. It's getting even just one more first down, plenty of first downs in this one, but even just one to 2 more. There's no reason there shouldn't be at least 2 of these per game. Not always intentional, maybe, but there should at least be a couple a game.
Yeah, I thought it was funny in Chris Rim's story. Shane Day was like, yeah, we always tell him to slide, but sometimes he just likes to run people over because it energizes the team. Yeah. And there was that one tonight where I think it was like the 3rd scramble where he lowers the shoulder and then he extends the football And once they see that he's not sliding, I'm like, Justin, slide. Okay, good job. You get the first down.
Yeah.
And then the team gets fired up too. So
Yeah.
it really does energize everybody on the sideline. And we saw that, obviously week 1 when he slides to win the game against the Chiefs. So yeah, I hope this is a thing that's here to stay. I'm pretty sure it is. Like, I think he's on pace to shatter his record for most scramble yards, but it really does. It helps make things so much easier on offense.
Yeah, it really does.
All right. Before we continue, our audio audience is going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with more recap after this. Okay, so real quick on the defense, Alex Katzen just tweeted this out. PFF live tracking has the Chargers defense at 30 pressures generated, which would easily be their season high. I think they had like 21 against the Chiefs in week 1, but
that sounds about right.
30 pressures in a game is a lot. And so again, backup offensive tackles for the Vikings, as we know what that looks like. But Odafe Owe had some moments. Eboigbe had moments. Thule had moments. And obviously Khalil Mack had moments. Target still had a nice blitz. Derwin James had a couple nice blitzes. So it was a really, really impactful game from the pass rush tonight.
Yeah, really, really felt it. And I feel like they were just getting more hits. Now, I will say, of all the things that maybe you could be nervous about and sustainabilities, Carson Wentz was a deer in the headlights half the time. And he ended up being hurt too, so that was part of it. But boy, his pocket presence sometimes was just non-existent. So that did help. But it was nice to see that the pressures weren't just like, oh, I win, and here I go, and there it goes. And there's a touchdown to the back end. It really felt meaningful. You felt like the squeeze of the pocket. You felt the quarterback hits. I mean, Wentz was finally, again, Loki meme, like, oh, that's what it feels like. Watching Wentz was on the ground every other pass attempt, every other drop back. And it was like, oh, hey, that's not Herbert. Herbert got a roughing the passer. How about that, everybody? Herbert finally got a roughing the passer. It just had to be 1.5 seconds and very blatantly obvious for it to happen. But the pass rush felt great.
So they ended up with 5 sacks and 8 quarterback hits tonight. So that is quite a lot more than they've been getting. So I think similar to the offensive side of things, where I think they're finding their formula with the balance of the run game and things like that. With the defense, man, like when they're able to get into these looks where Thule, Odafe, and Khalil are on the field at the same time, and now Justin Eboigbe looks like he has been over the last few weeks as a pass rusher, that group can really, really be impactful as pass rushers. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this looks like now that Khalil is healthy. They've got to figure out how to stop the run more consistently. Obviously, tonight was a really good start, but this pass rush plus an increased amount of blitzes from Jesse Minter, I think they can round back into shape as much as they can with some of the injuries that are going on.
Yeah, really curious what the numbers will end up being. Obviously, when you lose Derwin and you lose Tarheeb still, and even Tony Jefferson, your numbers of blitzes probably weren't as high as you might have liked them to be.
Sure.
But going into this game, Tej Seth had posted that the Chargers had the biggest EPA or pressure rate difference between blitzing versus non-blitzing. Not blitzing, one of the worst in the NFL in terms of pressure rate. When blitzing, an extremely high, I think it was top 3 pressure rate in the NFL when blitzing. So if you get a good pass rush as is now, or at least an improved pass rush, and you're now finding those right buttons to rush the passer. Again, not a great Vikings group right now, but I mean, I just looked fantastic tonight. Everything seemed very, very well timed. And then if Denzel Perryman was standing at the line, but then he drops back, he has his own pass breakup. Things just look a lot
hit him
more
right in the face.
Yeah, what's with everybody got hit in the face today? Ladd McConkey throwing.
Ladd got hit in the face. I was shocked when Ladd did not catch that pass.
Yeah, no, everybody where I was sitting around, it's one thing to drop it, then you watch the replay, and I was with a lot of my students for our fundraiser, and I just hear them go like, "Oh, I hit him right in the face. What happened?" Yeah, that was definitely a shocker, but all good. Denzel Perryman, great tackler.
Yeah, great tackler. Yeah, on that roughing the passer, man, like Dallas Turner, bro, like what the shit was that? Just like completely headbutts the quarterback. Like that's crazy to me. In college football, that's an automatic ejection, obviously, but the NFL does not eject there's no targeting rule in the NFL. That was crazy to me that happened that way. So just was really nice to see there.
Yeah.
So I did not realize this, but Keenan Allen only played 27% of the snaps tonight.
Makes some sense given the score as well. And I listen, Keenan Allen's got a great role on third down. Again, like I made a joke, like that's his 45th third down conversion of the season. It feels like it. It would just seem to be like, I don't know where's I don't even pay attention to where Keenan Allen is during plays because it's like, okay, where's the fullback? Where's the tight end? Which running back? What are we doing here? And then, all of a sudden it's just like Keenan Allen appears, a wild Keenan Allen appears and has a great third down. But listen, at the end of the day, I know Trey Harris didn't have like much of a receiving day today. I'd like them to get him involved more. But Haronte Gadsden's giving you 80 something yards a game or 70 yards a game, 250 over the last 2 games.
Yeah.
I know he's not a receiver, but Haronte Gadsden is basically a rookie receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put that guy on the field.
Yeah, his last 3 games, Alex Insdorf tweeted this: 19 catches, 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, 16.2 yards per reception for Haronte Gadsden.
Gnarly.
I think he's like second in the league in receiving for a rookie, or I guess it would be third in the league for receiving. He's played 2 less games than everybody else.
And really not playing, significant snaps and getting targets in those games.
Yeah. One thing on Keenan real quick. So he had 4 catches tonight. That means he's at 952 for his career.
Mm-hmm.
So he is 4 catches away from breaking Antonio Gates' record for receiving. I know that like you're not going to miss a game intentionally, man, but breaking that record in Nashville, just I'm not a fan of it, dude. Like give him 3 catches and then, pull him out. I don't know, man. You can't break the record in Nashville.
No, I totally get you there. It'd be nice for him to do it at home. I saw Antonio Gates break the touchdown record against the Miami Dolphins, and they lost that game. In StubHub. StubHub. Yeah, like it's not glorious, but that's amazing that he is going to get there as fast as he is going to get there. Kudos to him. I think he passed another. So Herbert passed a milestone today, right? 6th most. No, what was it? Most completions through 6 seasons.
Yeah, I think so.
He always breaks our records. I don't know which one it is. Which one is it this time? I don't know.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Yeah. I will say it does sound like there's a lot of Chargers fans that are planning to go to Nashville, including Mr. B. I'm just gonna say Mr. B. Sorry, buddy. So he'll cheer his butt off when Keenan breaks the record there.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nashville is a place where Chargers fans show up pretty strongly, I feel like, in years past, and obviously the Titans are very bad. Brooke and I considered actually going to this game, but we're going to the Nashville game, I should say, but we're going to Utah tomorrow for the Utah's homecoming game. So yeah, man, Keenan Alex Katzen pointed out that like whenever it's third down, just look towards the sticks and there's Keenan and he'll get a first down right away. So
yeah,
he has heading into today, he was, I think, 9th in first downs created on third downs in of any receiver, running back, tight end in the league. And now I think he had 3 more today. So yeah, man, Keenan is still looking really good.
Yeah, he is. We have a super chat. What if I can find it before? Because I do want to kind of bring it up. I can't find it. It was about Keenan Allen and re-signing him. I don't know. It's so tricky. Maybe it wasn't a super chat. Do I want them to stunt the growth of a Trey Harris? No, although technically they don't have to.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's tough to envision at the right price that Keenan Allen is not back just because he's been so valuable. Even if it isn't, he's had to start the season like he was going to be this receiver one suddenly. That's no longer the case. Like you said, we're starting to see the even middle ground of what that could be. Kind of the return to the floor, but still positive. But yeah. I just don't see how you can take that away from the Chargers this year. He's just solving too many problems for them. Everybody, I'm pretty sure, hit the more on Keenan Allen this year in terms of the receptions or receiving yards or whatever. Yeah, we saw it against the Vikings before. No, it wasn't 211 yards or whatever it was. But you just know in a game like this, and it was very evident early, that's Keenan Allen territory.
Well, Tyler, you potentially free to go to Nashville.
I don't want them to lose. Mike, I'm going to fly to Nashville to watch them lose to Mike McCoy. I can't do
it. They're not going to lose to Mike McCoy, man. Oh, man. If they do, that'll be a big story, obviously. But your mom really wants to go. She says, say yes.
I just want to sleep right now. Let me get through a sleep, and then we'll see. If I go and they lose, I'm gonna have to join like Greg Rosenthal's podcast somehow as an intern because I will get fired from my own podcast.
Yeah, you're not gonna get fired, but
I assume I'm not going to get fired. I'm pretty sure you can't do that.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Pretty sure. Go fuck yourself.
I don't want to run things by myself either, buddy.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't have the time to do all that.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I will probably not be going, but I don't know. Give me a few sleeps.
Yeah.
I know it's the Titans, Mom. I watched them lose to Rex Burkhead and the Texans before. Granted, I wasn't at the game. I've watched the Raiders almost beat them with Terrell Pryor as their quarterback, and he ended up being a receiver for the Redskins at the time. So I don't know, man.
All right. Tyler, any other positive thoughts about this game before we get to some of these injuries and super chats?
No, I think they won pretty handily. So it's generally all positives, and let's get to the negatives.
All right, so negatives obviously have to go with the injuries. Tony Jefferson was injured as well with a hamstring injury. He did return to the game, but it's just really unfortunate that this is like the game where everybody's back, and then I don't even remember when Derwin James got hurt. I want to say it was like the second or third drive of the game. I feel like I barely saw him play today, and then he's in a walking boot in the second half, and so that drastically changes the way the Chargers play defense. They move Tarheeb Still into the slot, and then Tarheeb Still, on the second down before the Vikings scored that touchdown, Tarheeb Still kind of gets his foot caught underneath as he's making a tackle. So now he's injured. Jasir Taylor comes into the game in the slot. And if that's going to, I don't think he will play. I think it would be Nico Reed. I think, I don't know. We'll see going forward. But, if you're talking about this Chargers secondary without Derwin James, without Tarheeb Still, who are probably their two best secondary players, and that's just not great. And then Mekhi Becton, who's dealt with a food poisoning, a concussion, a hand issue. And now the biggest concern of Mekhi Becton is his history of knee issues. And now he's dealing with a knee injury again. So we'll see about Derwin and Tarheeb Still, man. But I'm pretty concerned about the Mekhi Becton knee injury, just given the history and the way that it looked. Like he was trying to work it out on the sideline. The broadcast showed him, and he's just like is taking a pass set, and he's just like you could just see it on his face that it was not good. Obviously, he was not carted off, so this is like a knee sprain or something. But man, I'm concerned about the Mekhi Becton situation.
Yeah, as am I, because it's just been one thing after another. But it always felt sort of manageable or temporary with the concussion, with the hand injury, whatever. It seems like okay, you can kind of get through these things. The knees for someone that big, and you saw him on the sideline, it was pretty brutal. And now I think that this is something where they have to give him some games. Like I know Jeffrey Simmons isn't the most, although I think is he hurt?
No, he's still playing.
Oh, he's still playing. It wouldn't be the best time next week, but you face the Steelers after that. And if you think Mekhi Becton is your best bet at the best game, you got to find a way to at least give him a week or something. Like this guy has just not been right basically the entire offseason into the season. I think he's played 2 full games this year. We're now at 8 games played, so that you got to find a way to get him right. And I will be right back, everyone.
All right, so Tyler's going to go to the restroom real quick.
Well, call me out. Why don't you? Why don't you just bring the camera in?
Why? Why does that matter? Um, but yeah, man, if Mekhi Becton is going to miss any time, to me, I think this is a game. This is a situation where you give the Tennessee Titans a phone call after this week, and you say, "Hey, man, can Kevin Zeitler come back on the plane with us?" Because Zeitler obviously has a lot of familiarity with this regime. He was played in Baltimore for quite a few years. He was in New York with Andy Bischoff. To me, that would be a pretty seamless situation. I do actually think Foster Sarell played pretty well today. We'll see what the tape says officially there, but I'm not super comfortable with Foster Sarell going forward, and we'll see about the whole Jamari Sawyer situation. Jamari obviously was limited in practice last week, healthy enough to play or at least be active, and then was labeled as an emergency player from Greg Roman on Monday. Practices in full this week, and then is inactive. So I think that is a very dicey situation to potentially keep an eye on. Chargers obviously handed him the backup guard situation right away, and now he's maybe benched for Foster Sarell. So I don't know, man. It's a pretty weird situation. And obviously, EJ points out in the chat that Kevin Zeitler does not want to play on the West Coast. Reportedly, I don't think he. I think he would rather play on the West Coast for a winning team than on the East Coast for a losing team. So uh, I don't know, man. Kevin Zeitler, Caleb Porter points out Evan Neal. Evan Neal's not definitely going to start by any means, but that is the situation for the injury. So I think if Mekhi Becton does miss time, I think you got to go make a move. I don't think you trust Foster Sarell and Jamari Sawyer to be that guy. And Kevin Zeitler to me is like a very seamless situation. So sometimes with offensive linemen, you worry about like continuity and transition, but this is definitely a player that makes a lot of sense for the Chargers if they are able to work that out. Wait, this is actually part of my take? There's no way. The PMT graphics guy is a huge Chargers fan. I have actually heard that. So there's no way. There's no way. Yeah, I don't know, man. If it is, that's awesome. I don't know which one of you it is, but memes or whoever you are, appreciate the support, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Last thing from a negative standpoint that I want to hit is the Chargers special teams. So I mentioned the long snapper earlier, 2 very poor snaps. Cameron Dicker obviously has his whiff of the kickoff attempts where the Vikings got to start at the 40-yard line, essentially. And then, okay, he says it's Max I'm eating right now. I don't know, man. Like, is this part of my take? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting excited for no reason here, but it is what it is, I guess. So you have the 2 bad snaps, which cost the Chargers 3 points. Cameron Dicker, missing the kickoff gives the Vikings a field goal, and then the penalty on the Vikings field goal. You have the situation where the Chargers or the Vikings get a touchdown right after that. I'm so distracted. This is where I'm definitely getting trolled by this, but I don't see the check mark. Can somebody show me the check mark? I do not see the check mark. Anyways, Charger special teams, very bad. Tyler. Tyler is not with me right now. I'll say that. Okay, people in the chat say that they see the check mark next to the part of my take, guys. Tyler says he can see it from the toilet. I'm gonna send a text message real quick. This is my wife and my brother-in-law are huge part of my take fans, so we listen to the podcast quite often. So if this is actually Max, like I need a way for you to decipher that this is you, man. Like send a picture of your pigtails or something like that. I don't know, man.
I ain't as good as I once was. My, how the years have grown. But there was a time. Yeah, when you eat pizza and mac and cheese bites and all sorts of stuff to support your school's fundraiser, you got to leave, man. I'm dropping a Bradley Bozeman pass blocking grade right now.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And after a while, I was just on my phone trying to figure out if this is the real PMT or not. Yes, there is a check mark. So if it's you guys, oh, sorry. I usually don't just leave to go vacate, right? I was excited, okay? I was excited.
It's not the craziest thing in the world. Like, I'm totally trying to justify things here a little bit. But the graphics person of the Part of My Take podcast is a huge Chargers fan. Obviously, Ken Jack, we're friends with, is a huge Chargers fan. And they mentioned me on the Wake Up Barstool show today. So, and Memes obviously loves our podcast name. So he tweeted about us a couple weeks ago. Or after, so the first week?
After the Broncos game.
After the Broncos game. Yeah. No, we are not sponsored by Dude Wipes, but we are not opposed.
No, but I'm browning my Manscaped underwear right now, which was a sponsor back in the day.
That was a sponsor back in the day. They actually make great boxers, by the way.
Manscaped makes great boxers, everybody. Holy cow. Let me tell you.
A more agenda for the Guilty as Charged podcast was the Carson Wentz stuff today. So shout out Alex Insdorf. Having a great time on social media with the very good agenda night for him.
I love that we get PMT and Greg Rosenthal shout outs. And I'm just like, I'm going to go poo. Somebody is watching right now because
do you feel good now? Was it a good successful poo?
Yeah, it was listen, it was a bit rushed, Did you make it work? All right.
Oh man, that is so good. That is so good. All right, let's get to some of these super chats. We got 41 of them in the chat here, so buckle up, you guys. Athir kicked us off, says, Flores emailed the NFL no more Herbert on the schedule, please. Chargers defense looks great without DJ. Hope he is okay. Well-deserved rest. Let's go. Yeah, Athir obviously had a big win for the Chargers. He had 31-17, I want to say, in his bold prediction. So big credit to Athir. He had faith the Chargers would score 30 points. I did not. They scored 37. So shout out to Athir tonight.
Yeah, man. That was awesome. You got a much bigger win than any of us were expecting, except you. So, broken clock sometimes.
Yeah. Sean says, consider me bolted all the way up. Good to see the boys actually give it a good go tonight. Lots of dogs out there tonight. Side note, Al Michaels' Charger commentary is for the birds. Yeah, not a great broadcast duo, in my opinion, over on Amazon Prime.
It was rough. I mean, they down to just the kind of the basics where it's like, they said, oh, well, Herbert's thrown his 7th interception of the season. He was so good at taking care of it last year. And it's like, well, 5 of them have been batted passes or tip passes. It's not like he's, throwing it straight into the defense. Now, the pick six wasn't great, or the theoretical pick six wasn't great, but it was not a great broadcast. That's for sure.
They struggled saying Vidal the entire night. We got Vidal, we got Vidal, Vidal. Like, it's not a difficult name. It's not that hard. And so in general, I just think Al Michaels he's not into it anymore. And like, there's just not a lot of energy. Like, Matt McConkey scores a touchdown, and it was like the most boring touchdown call I've ever heard in my life. So
brutal.
Yeah, it's bad. Lots of dogs tonight, I think is appropriate. There were some players with some huge moments and consistent moments throughout the game. So I think that is a good comment from Sean.
Yes, absolutely.
Bolt Up BB says this game reminded me of why we got excited about the Harbaugh era last year. Straight up taking care of business. Herbert leading, but not alone.
I love that. Herbert leading, but not alone. Herbert was definitely the engine that made it work, but he had a coaching staff. He had a defense. They found a run game. The health of the team got better. So I love that. Herbert leading, but not alone.
Yeah, this looked much more like a Jim Harbaugh team than what they have looked for most of the last month of the season. And so some of that is the players coming back. Obviously, still some penalties to clean up, but it just looked more of what we expected this team to look like, going into the season. Miss Andrea Shun with her first of 2 super chats that I've seen, obviously the national one.
Yeah.
Simple winners, Bolt Up here. Was she at the game tonight?
She was not, actually, but nobody from my family ended up going to the game. So that's why they won so big, everybody.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Oh, the brother-in-law didn't get to go see his Vikings play. That's probably okay for him, actually.
yeah. You don't want to deal with that. And then he's got to ask us to propose to my sister in the next month-ish or so, I believe. So, yeah, glad he didn't have to go sit through that.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
I think by force we have Alex Insdorf here.
I just wanted to hop in the chat. What are you guys talking about tonight?
We're talking about me taking a poo. Why? That's kind of where we're at.
What happened there? I just saw Steven alone, and I didn't know if he was doing the show solo. So then, what happened?
Alex, are you growing facial hair, man? Hold on, we gotta back up for this for a second. Hold on 1 second here. Hold on.
What?
Wait, what order are we supposed to be in? Hold on, get out of here, Alex. Hold on, I gotta go.
Oh man, what is going on right now?
The try box is back.
How we doing, Alex? How we feeling?
We're pretty good. People add me all the time on Twitter. Kamani Vidal, 9 carries, 20 yards. I get my mentions blown up. But when it's 117 yards, I don't get my mentions blown up that much. I just want to say that.
Amazing how that works.
Day, 309 yards. Carson Wentz sucks. I think that's all I had.
Alex,
speaking of what you've had, how many drinks have you had?
0, actually. I'm completely motherfucking sober.
Wow,
dude, you're like
win.
Yeah, you're like Mormon hyped right now. You're hyped off the vibes.
Oh yeah,
Mormon hyped.
it's like I'm whatever Steven and the director are, whichever one wins the holy war.
Whoa, we do not have to bring up that game on tonight's show and ruin the vibes, my guy.
It's okay. Rutgers also sucks, but anyway, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's been great, and I'm excited for you to don your gold or yellow jersey.
Yeah, dude. That's not going away, by the way. If you do not order one, I'm ordering one for you. So you will get a yellow jersey after that tweet.
Yeah, I kind of forgot I tweeted that.
We'll let you know. Don't worry. I will open up every show after our PrizePicks ad read with that.
Yeah.
All right. Love you guys. Praise
Love you too,
Arande.
buddy.
Love Kimani. Everyone wins.
Bye.
Look
Sober
at
up.
Alex with some facial hair going.
I know. Look at Lad. Is that kind of what Lad McConkey's got going on too?
Pretty much. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
I love it. Commit to the bit. I like it. All right.
Me and Kyle Benoit have like kind of matching beards, although he trims his cheeks down a little bit more.
Yeah.
Foster Sorrell's growing some facial hair, so.
And I played great.
Yeah. Right on cue. JLM said earlier, I guess, says Foster Sorrell played well in Beckton's place. I think in general, the offensive line just looked a lot cleaner tonight against a very blitz happy team. So very curious what the film says. But yeah, big shout out to Foster Sorrell jumping in there, and at least being able to maintain the level of play, I would say.
Yeah, it wasn't respectfully the Austin Deculus, like, oh, here's 7.
Yeah, there was no drop off, which is what you're hoping for of a backup offensive lineman.
Yeah, done very well.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man says, I don't know who I miss more, Slater or Josh Harris. A lot of love for Josh Harris tonight, and very well deserved, as you pointed out. Chargers fans have learned the value of a long snapper this season.
Yeah, and a placeholder. Boy, I forgive J.K. Scott's and any of his shanked punts. If that's how he has as a holder, I mean, he's saved a game-winning kick, and he saved several kicks tonight. I mean, I never even cared about the long snapper or the holder because it never was much of an issue. other than the Lynn year where he maybe was like, I don't know, maybe it's Drew Kazer's fault. We can't kick field goals. But hey, man, J.K. Scott, thank you. Josh Harris, pay him some more. Levato, again, like I'll take Demi Lovato at this point. Anything else would be better. Honestly, Tucker Fisk, man, something else.
Oh, shit. It was actually the part of my take, guys. Whoa, let's go. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Yep. That was them. I told you, man. I did my toilet reporting. They had a check mark. It's pretty cool, though. Did somebody do something or?
No, the memes on Twitter added us. I'm gonna retweet this stuff right now.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Wait, now I gotta find it. Hold on, guys. This is important stuff. Guilty. This is what happens when I don't have control over any of the pod stuff. I can't find it earlier. Nope, I don't see it.
I just retweeted it.
Okay.
Holy shit. Are they still
Pretty
in here?
cool.
I don't know if they are. Probably not.
Probably not. They saw, yeah. They're tired of my poo stuff.
Wow, dude. That's, oh my gosh. That's super cool.
Ah, and it's just you. And I'm taking a shit. That's awesome. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Real quick about the part of my take, guys. Every year we go to Newport with my wife's family, and last summer the part of my take guys were in LA for Grit Week, and so they were in Long Beach doing like a meetup and stuff like that. Oh, they're still in here. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Yes. What's up, memes? What's up, Max? How you guys doing?
Hello, everybody. I'm Tyler. Good to meet all of you. Happy for Shane. You still bolted up?
So last summer they're in Long Beach doing their Grit Week, and we're in Newport. And I had planned to go to a Chargers practice, and they saw that they were going to do this meetup. And my brother-in-law Zach like religiously listens to the part of my take guys, all of the Barstool stuff, and so I'm like, okay, I'll drop you guys off at Grit Week. I'll go to practice. And Zach was like, I'm so nervous. Like he was like meeting his heroes, dude. He was so nervous about meeting the part of my take guys. And then they ended up having a really good time at this meetup. And so there's a picture on Brooke's Instagram from our trip to Newport of her and her brother Zach meeting the part of my take guys while I was at the Chargers practice. That was when I got to ask Jim Harbaugh some questions. So it was a great day for all of us. But yeah, part of my take is a staple of the Bowman / Hagland family household listening days.
Love that. Well, thanks for hanging out. I'm glad you're totally bolted up. We're all a little bolted up right now. So yeah, ask a question.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We'll answer a question. Happy to
ask a Chargers question. We'll get to one for sure.
Ask a food question. We'll answer those too.
Question.
Ask a toilet question. I just was there.
Ask a toilet question. Their impression of us, their first time listening, is Tyler taking a poo mid podcast.
Twice in 6 years. Okay. Twice in 6 years. I went to go visit the Raiders fans. Okay.
I'm so dead. That's so funny. Luke Kelly gets us going next. Hopefully the turning point for the season, BTFU. Yeah, hopefully, man, just get this momentum going. I think would be great. Yeah, absolutely. I think you can't help but pick them to win next week, so it does feel like they can pick up some momentum. Yeah. Dre says, finally, I don't have to be depressed for the week. I know. Listen, it was an instant cure. We had only a couple of days of feeling down about the Colts game, and here we are feeling good. We get to carry this. We get to watch games on Sunday. Could be terrible. Could be bad. Whatever. The Chargers have already won, and we're good. We get to carry this all the way until next Sunday. Feels good. Yeah, my anxiety is cured. I just don't have it anymore. It's gone. Yeah, my bowels are moving. You know, everything. Okay, that's my last one. No more poo references. You've reached the cap. Reached the cap. There we go. Mr. Dark Chow Chow, committed to the bit, wants to know, how did Zion look tonight? I think last I checked, he had allowed one pressure, maybe two, but it's been a minute since I checked. I think it was fine.
had some good stuff in the run game. So I think it was a solid performance.
Yeah. We'll see what the final numbers say, but last week was not very good. Looked a lot better today. Obviously, you're not going up against DeForest Buckner, but it was a much better performance overall, I would say. Yeah. Ruiz says it's sad Q didn't get a target. Hope it was schemed. I thought he was still like really engaged with everybody. Like he was still celebrating with all the guys, which is always good to see. But he's their deep threat guy right now, and it didn't really feel like a deep threat kind of game just with the blitz heavy approach and things like that. So I think Ladd, his touchdown was the only pass that went like past 20 yards, I want to say.
Yeah, at least in terms of air yards. I was a little curious because someone had posted, I think it was Tej or no, Sumer Sports had posted something about the Vikings giving up a lot on early down play action passes. And I thought maybe that's an opportunity for Quentin Johnston, but ultimately it just didn't seem like his game. We all kind of knew this was a Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey sort of game, maybe Gadsden, anything quick and over the middle. And that was definitely the case. Just not a QJ game.
Yeah, I figured this would be first, Ladd and Gadsden, just given the way that the Vikings play defense and their weaknesses. And, the Chargers, they played a lot of 2 tight end sets today. I felt like that was a way where they could, gain some momentum. And obviously Matlock played a lot as well. I didn't really see him play any defensive snaps, which I was a little surprised at, given the way that they were talking heading into the week. But I thought that overall the game plan made a lot of sense, man. Like, let's get condensed formations, let's get more bodies up on the line of scrimmage. Also, Kamani Vidal had 3 or 4 beautiful blitz pickups today.
So
just
good,
huge in pass protection. So in training camp, I saw it like it looked a lot better, and that has turned it to be the real case, man. Like he looks really comfortable back there in pass protection.
Yeah, he also had a pretty good run block that went for but he blocked 2 different defenders on that Herbert scramble. I didn't even notice it on initial watch, but they showed the replay with the pass protection, with that block, with the way he's running, just affecting the game in 3 separate ways, which was awesome. And he had a reception. Steven's still living off the high of this PMT thing, isn't he?
I sure am.
Oh, man. That's good stuff, man.
Andrew Murray says trade all of the draft capital until Ortiz has 25th round picks. Who says no? Hey, man, getting Tarib Still, Cam Hart, and Arada Gadsden, and we'll see about KLS. That's a hell of a value in the 5th round for sure.
Yeah, I mean, at minimum, we were just hoping for more at-bats in 5th round, day 3 kind of picks. And so to go 3 for 4, at least and contributors, if not a now in Arada Gadsden, good stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Rid, I don't know if there was a question meant to go with this super chat, but $20, that means a lot, man. So if you're still in the chat and have a question, feel free and jump back in and we'll answer it.
Yeah, super $20 is a lot. So thank you so much. I know he had a question attached to this, but he got rid of it.
Oh, really?
It's a joke.
Oh, nice job. That went over the head for me.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you. What?
Woo.
Nice job.
All right. Thank you.
Shane Ledesma, great win. SoFi had great energy tonight. Fuck Brian Flores. Herbo got his number.
I don't know F Brian Flores. I don't have that much of an agenda against Brian Flores. But yeah, Justin Herbert, I forget what game it was. Maybe it was last year, but someone posted, who has anybody succeeded? Who has torn apart this Brian Flores defense? And everyone was like, well, Herbert. I didn't think he'd look like this again, but he looked fantastic. And he just had the defense's number all game.
So Tarib still said that his left knee got hit in a pile, but that he's not worried about missing any time with injury. I'll be good though. I'll be great. My bad.
My bad. I
don't know about my bad. Hilarious.
Yeah.
On the opposite side of things, Omari Hampton still in a walking boot for the Chargers. So not a great situation there.
No. Yeah, that's don't love that one.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man wants to know, why did the OL look better without Becton? I don't know if I would say it looked better, but I think they were really committed to having the multiple bodies up there. Like I think Tucker Fisk, if I had to guess right now, probably played like 40 snaps tonight, and Matlack played a ton as well. So I think that's just the way that the Chargers need to live on offense while they're dealing with the injuries. And frankly, like if this looks good like this, you just keep doing it. And then when Pipkins and Becton and everybody are healthy, it'll look that much better.
Yeah.
But I think they just had a really good game plan. I think they protected against the blitz very well. Again, Kamani had a huge night there. So I don't know if I would say it looked better. I think they just had a good plan and executed it well.
Yeah, I think so too.
NSN simple Oronde Gadsden. That is all.
Yep. Pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Bob Middleton says good game plans from both coordinators. We obviously agreed there.
Yeah, definitely good game plans from both. Just and well executed by Minters. Chargers offense too, but Minter just it was. I don't know how much was really changed. They just executed very well.
Yeah. John says, love the win. Glad the interception / pick six went our way, but can we please get rid of this OL minus alt?
Well, I don't know what they're going to do about this interior because now, again, you might be looking for a new right guard next year. It's very early, but I mean, the guy has not played many games and has a significant injury history. So we'll see. A lot of time to go. A mini bye, then a bye coming up a few weeks later. So things could turn around, but not feeling great there. I genuinely do not know how this game would have gone with that pick six. The Chargers did get a stop to open the game, basically. So I think that you have some confidence, but if they got a pick six, the momentum's gone, the energy's out of the building. I don't know. I think the Chargers handled business, no problem, but part of it, like you and I mentioned, was they had their own energy and they brought that energy in the competitive fight. If that was gone within the first 3 minutes, I don't know how this game turns out.
Yeah, I think just from a sheer momentum standpoint, from a defensive standpoint, like your vibes are going to be so high. We got to pick six to start the game, and then incomplete pass, you have to come back down to earth. And then the Chargers go on a 10-plus play drive, 7 minutes, score a touchdown. That's about as bad of a momentum shift as you can get as a defender. And so that definitely helped impact the things. I feel like the Chargers still probably win tonight, just given the way that it looked physically. But, you know, maybe if that pick six counts, maybe you're talking about like a 21-13 kind of game, or maybe you're talking about like a 24-17 game, something like that. But yeah, that was a huge momentum shift for sure. And the Chargers were very fortunate that Isaiah Rodgers did not know how to catch at that moment.
Yeah. Yep.
Board Grind says, my apologies to Alex, our GM, and Harbaugh. Kamani is him.
Yeah, no kidding. It was because I thought some of the runs were like solid at first. Okay, you know, hey, staying ahead 4 yards, 5 yards, that's great. And then just by the 12th carry, it felt like it was just here's 18, here's 21. So physical, so strong, seeing things so well. Was awesome. What is Steven laughing about?
No, they asked the question.
Oh.
Max wants to know, how is Herbert 7 feet tall and every other pass is tipped? Bozeman's fault.
In some ways, yes. I don't know what he's doing, but he must be telegraphing something to the defenders to tip the ball at certain times.
The one tonight was a bad decision. Like that was across the body. Like he's rolling out to his left. That one was bad. The one against Dexter Lawrence, that was just an insane play by him. But some of it is like Herbert has, despite being 7 feet tall, he does have kind of a low arm angle throwing the football sometimes. Tonight was a bad decision more so than it was like a good play by the defensive lineman. Just throw that ball away, man. Like you just can't, go back to the middle of the field like that. So it's unfortunate, that context will just not remember that these interceptions are all tipped passes, but this one I am going to blame Herbert. Like it was a bad decision regardless.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be very curious to now go back and watch these throughout the year because it feels really frequent the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Is it after 2.5 seconds? Is it late back over the middle? What is it about these plays in particular?
Yeah. Well, in 2022, when it was a huge problem, that was when obviously the Chargers were dealing with a lot of injuries, and the Joe Lombardi scheme, it was like, we're just going to run stick all the time. And so you would see defensive linemen like not even rush the passer. Like they were just very clearly like trying to time up a pass. So that year was a Joe Lombardi thing.
Yeah.
Last year, I don't remember it being as much of an issue this year.
No.
Like I maybe a handful of tipped passes at the line, but there's already been like, a bunch in each game, I feel like. Good question by Memes or Zach or Max. I don't know who's running this right now, but good question.
Yeah.
McRiffin says putting up 37 points on Ronnie Harrison's night.
Yeah, man. Much better than getting blown out on Antonio Gates Day. So I'll take it.
The whole honoring at halftime thing has not been kind because I forget who they played, but when they honored Jamal Williams, they got blown out in that game too.
Jeez. Yeah, there's been some rough ones that I've seen and been in attendance for. They're really weird too because everyone's going to the bathroom or getting another beer or more food.
Yeah.
And so it's 20% of the stadium watching one of these guys.
That was the Chargers Seahawks game when they got wrecked and they honored Jamal Williams at halftime. You remember that one? Walker had like 180 yards rushing or whatever it was.
Did I go to this game? When was the last time they played the Seahawks? There was
2022.
I've memory hold that game.
Understandable.
In SoFi?
Yeah, at SoFi.
Holy cow. I remember the one with the Gates 3 touchdowns. I remember the one where Gordon, I think, had a good game in Seattle. That was a fun win for the Chargers. I can't think of this other one. Must have been bad.
Yeah, it was not a fun game. It's not a fun game. Joel says next year, number 10 will have another year of confidence from QJ, Ladd, Trey, Harris. Hopefully, if Allen back, Hampton, and now Gadsden. Rashawn comes back. If we upgrade into your line and add some pieces on defense, we're going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah. Next year always felt like that real Super Bowl grouping. And when you can walk into, year 3 of Ladd and year 4 of Quentin Johnson, year 2 of Gadsden, year 2 of Hampton, you're just so much more connected. So, yeah, I think some upgrades would be it. They really can make that push next year.
Yeah. I don't think this player will get traded at the deadline, as people have kind of suggested. But the Jets reporters are all saying that Quinnen Williams is very unhappy in New York right now and very unhappy at the direction of the team. I don't think this is going to be a trade deadline thing. And the Chargers don't exactly have like a ton of draft capital. But if there was ever an all-in move for a player that you have some ties to that makes a ton of sense of how you're going to change your defense, Quinnen Williams makes a ton of sense for an off-season trade conversation.
Yeah. I don't even, I do want to know, what does Mike Olson and Jesse Minter do with Quinnen Williams, that considering what they've done with, respectfully, for Tart and these groups of guys?
Yeah, man, that'd be nice. Chad Alexander also has to stay on the Chargers as part of this conversation.
Sounds good.
Yeah. NSN says Herbert's play has been elite this year. Fight me.
I
don't think anybody in the chat will fight him, but
no, definitely not. I think if you watch the film, it feels pretty elite to great in many cases. So I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, it's just really frustrating. Like, quarterback discourse is like, I was at school, and so I get home at like 4:40, and I turn on Amazon Prime, and they're talking about Herbert and Fitzpatrick and Whitworth and Gonzalez. Apparently, Tony Gonzalez is a huge Herbert fan. The three of them are all like, "Yeah, Herbert's doing all this stuff. Like, it's so impressive. They're not winning great, but he looks great. He's taking the next step." And then Sherman's like, "Talk to me in January," and I'm like, "What's the point of having that discussion if you're just gonna ignore everything that Herbert is doing right now and just say, talk to me in January?" Like, your job is to analyze the game, and that's your point. It really bothered me just because, like, you're in a position on Thursday Night Football to actually like provide some nuanced takes, and you're just going to continue to be the, QB wins guys. It bothered me. It rubbed me the wrong way that Sherman had that take right away.
Yeah, I hate some of those lazier takes.
Yeah. Teresa Compapa, as we kind of touched on this earlier, he says, "Congrats on the recognition, fellas. Well deserved. Unk is on pace for 106 catches, 1,000 yards, 1,056 yards, and 10 touchdowns. What's the likelihood he is re-signed considering the youth at wide receiver?
I don't know. I need to see the entire season to answer that question. Right now, it feels like it's a decent chance. I think it just has meant too much to Herbert in particular. But it's one funky injury away from this just not being a conversation, or one, second half of the season where he kind of falls off and isn't, as important to the team. Or, I mean, shoot, if let's say Trey Harris gets more involved with something, or Quentin Johnson comes back, and now it really is, McConkey, Quentin Johnston, or on a Gadsden. Trey Harris, you can't take off the field because of his run blocking. Where's the fit for Keenan there? I still think he'll have a role, but I don't know. And then Keenan also has to be on board with, which I hope he would be, and I think he would be, but on board with being the third down guy, the wide receiver 3, third down, very, very reliable, maybe red zone, great relationship with the quarterback kind of guy. And I think he would be.
Yeah, I think he would be open to that as well. I mean, he was pretty open about, I just want to be in LA. Like, he doesn't want to go play anywhere else. Like, I could not see him, season ends, Chargers are like, hey man, like, we have all these young pieces, like, we wish you well, like, thanks for coming back this season, adios kind of deal. And him being like, okay, well, I'm gonna go sign with the Ravens. I don't know. Like, I just don't think that's his style. So if he continues to keep up his pace, I think you kind of just have to bring him back, and you roll with your 3 receivers and Keenan again, and obviously you'll see what happens with Keandre Lambert-Smith, and I think you kind of have to. Chemistry is obviously super important between him and Justin Herbert. So if he plays all 17 games, I think that's a huge if, given his history.
Yeah.
Like J.K. Dobbins, I think if J.K. Dobbins doesn't hurt his knee last year, I think he's back on this team.
Yeah.
But he gets hurt, and the Chargers decide to go in a different direction. So if Keenan gets hurt, like he has been in the past, and I'm definitely not wishing that on him, then I don't think the Chargers would bring him back. But if he plays all the games, keeps up his pace, I think he's back. Like, I think you have to make that choice.
Yep.
Jumore 711 says stats won't show, but this was Herbert's best game. Not of his career. Definitely not of his career. The other Vikings game is, to me, is still the best game of his career. Maybe best game of the season. I think it's this or the Chiefs game. I think that's fair.
This or the Chiefs game definitely seems fair. If the interception weren't there, even though it was tipped, I think I would maybe consider this his best game. But still, beating the Chiefs on prime time, technically at home, but on the road in Brazil, I think that was his best one. But I don't mind this being in that conversation.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I would probably still lean, not having watched the film yet, I would still probably lean towards the Chiefs game, but definitely in the conversation. NSN, how did Foster Srell do? We kind of touched on that already. Josh Albertson says 17th time catching alive. Why wasn't Tyler at the game? Are you guys even fans? Obviously, sarcastic there.
I had my own work stuff to do. Primetime Thursday night games are tough. Are we fans? I don't know. It depends on who you ask and which day of the week. We picked them to win this game. Do we get our status back?
Yeah. We picked them to win, and it was a very positive week. So hopefully that counts for some people. People ask me a lot about like Thursday night games, Monday night games. It's just so difficult for the two of us because we have to go work with the youth of America the next day. So kind of tough to justify, going to a primetime game. You would have to drive home. So we wouldn't start podcasting until like an hour afterwards. We'd be up until like midnight, essentially podcasting. And you guys wouldn't mind, obviously, listening, but we would mind, and our students wouldn't mind.
All right, kids, we're watching a movie today. I'm tired.
Josh says, do you guys think Hassan Haskins was the problem on offense? I was pleasantly surprised with the way that Jared Patterson looked, but today was obviously a Kamani Vidal thing, but Patterson looked pretty good in his limited snaps.
Yeah, he did. Just a good little bit of extra juice as a runner.
Caleb says Hampton/Vidal is going to, Vidal is going to be a great 1-2 punch. I am very curious how the Chargers approach this. Not trading for anybody this week makes a ton of sense. Short week. But now you have this short week, this extended mini buy situation where you can look at some of these names that have kind of been up for grabs a little bit. Obviously, Omari Hampton's still in a walking boot. I think they still need to go get somebody to help Kamani a little bit out here. Does it have to be, a big physical guy? No, but like the last, I know he looked great today, ran super hard. I don't think Kamani is usually going to be kind of like a 20 carry guy.
Sure.
I don't know if that's the best recipe for long-term success there. So I do think they want to have another complimentary piece, and Hassan Haskins is just not that guy.
No, it's not. Curious what a little more Patterson could do. Didn't see enough from Hines to really know for sure. I don't know. It really now just comes down to you feel so much more. We all feel so much more positively about Vidal now, and I'm sure the Chargers do as well. But then I'm like, again, that Hampton reporting, that boot. How much longer are we waiting here?
Yeah.
Would it help you to have another body? I'm sure it would. Against the Jaguars and the Steelers in particular, 2 AFC teams, not great, but solid enough. They could beat the Chargers. It'd be nice to have a little more, especially in that Steelers game.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm curious enough about Patterson to be like, yeah, let's get another week here. But if Hampton is, more of a post-bye week situation, then I think you probably need to go get somebody over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think so.
Anthony says Aranda Gasson can genuinely become a top 5 tight end in the league. The dude is baby Darren Waller already in his 5th game being active. Yeah, top 5 tight end in the league with this very tight end friendly offense with a quarterback who already trusts him tremendously. And the athletics traits are very real there. I think that is possible.
Yeah, you're good. And there's some, potential turnover of the guard or some injuries with the Kelsey, with the Kittle, and these guys. I mean, it's take a while. I think you have to respect some of these guys, and Gadsden has more time. You got to really see more of it. But top 5, it's possible. It's very possible. I think Bowers when he's back and healthy.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's unfortunately also Tyler Warren. For some reason, the good tight ends fall out of the top 10. Go figure. But I don't know.
I think the key thing is obviously tight ends kind of have a quarterback thing where a lot of them will have really good rookie seasons and then kind of like come back down to earth their second year. And obviously Bowers is injured right now, but like Jake Ferguson, his rookie season, there was a lot of talk like, oh, maybe this is one of the guys. Same thing with Sam Laporta. And they're still good players, but can they take that next step is a big question. So there's a lot of really good young tight ends. The question for Aranda is just going to be, can he sustain this across the period of multiple seasons? I don't think he's ever really going to be a great blocker, but he's been very functional, and that's been awesome to see. That would help him be like a consensus top 15 guy. If he can be an above average blocker next season and beyond, that would be great. But the athletic traits, the fit in the offense, the way the quarterback trusts him already, and who we think the quarterback is, top 5 10 end as a ceiling, I think is very possible.
Yeah, it is, which is a crazy late day 3 pick or midday 3 pick.
Alex says 2 Gates, 3 Kelsey, 4 Sharp, 5 Gadsden.
There you go. I know. Sorry, Tony Gonzalez.
For what it's worth.
Okay. Yeah, can't include Tony Gonzalez. Wow. Sorry, got to put a Gadsden on there.
Yeah. Christian Hernandez brought up Quinnen Williams. We still need to trade for Quinnen Williams.
Don't mind that.
Yeah. I think that's more of an off-season conversation. His contract it's a little wonky right now, but because I was looking at this the other day, it's a very movable contract next in the off-season. Right now, it's a little, especially for the Chargers who have like $2 million in cap space right now.
Yeah.
But next year, when they have the cap space, they can definitely make it work and restructure him and do something like that. Scotty MC, that was a hell of a win, boys. Bummed about these constant injuries, though. Keep up the great work. You guys are awesome. We appreciate Scotty for jumping in here.
Thank you.
The injuries are definitely a bummer, especially like this being the game where, let's get everybody back, except for like Omarion, obviously. But like then you lose Derwin and Tarheeb. Like those are your 2 best secondary players. So
Yeah,
we'll see with Tarheeb. Obviously, good news that he thinks he's not going to miss any time, but
yeah,
losing Derwin is going to be huge for this defense.
yeah, losing Durham while trying to work through things with Jefferson and Molden and not having Alohi Gilman. Again, it's totally the Chargers' luck. They trade one safety and then just every safety gets hurt.
Yeah. Mickens looked good though tonight.
Yeah.
The interception was kind of a gimme, but he caught it.
Step one. Yes. Very good.
Caleb Porter says, assuming the Ravens don't re-sign him, do you guys think the Chargers pursue Tyler Linderbaum in free agency next season? I would be stunned if he did not get pursued by the Chargers if he hit free agency, but I do not think he actually hits free agency.
If he hits free agency, I highly doubt he's anything else but a Chargers player. Now, they gave out some crazy interior offensive line contracts this offseason, but that's a Ortiz connection. That there's so many connections there. It has to be. So it won't be, unfortunately, I don't think.
Yeah, so Creed Humphrey's at $18 million a year. So center is still underpaid in comparison to guard. So you're talking about like an $18.5 million contract. I mean, Cam Jurgens is at 17. Drew Dahlman is at 14. He's the third highest paid center right now. So center is just not one of those positions that you're paying a ton for. But if Linderbaum hits free agency, or if the Ravens are like, hey man, like let's test the market and then come back to us, you absolutely have to offer the maximum amount of possible there to get him over here. So I still think they get a deal done in Baltimore, but if they don't, then he should be a Charger instantly. Like this is more obvious than Lindsley to the Chargers was, because you have so many direct ties to it. Yeah. And an even bigger need, I would say, than at that time was, as crazy as that is right now.
Oh yeah, I'd agree there.
Athier says the Herbert roughing the passer call was bad. It should be targeting and ejection. Do you agree? That's just not a rule in the NFL. They don't call targeting or eject people. The only way he would have been ejected is if that were like his, he had a previous egregious penalty and then this was the second one kind of thing. Or if Herbert had been like knocked out of the game, maybe that's the situation where they eject him. But
yeah,
just Herbert was like fine, and it was a bullshit play, but the NFL just doesn't eject for stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Hectic Paprika 5620. Interesting name. I like Paprika too, man. It's man. I put it on everything. Yep. Longtime fan from Minnesota, flying out in 2 weeks for the Steelers game. Same. Will be my first Chargers game ever. Wow. Any tips on how to make game day as fun as possible? Thanks. Love the show, guys.
So if you have the time, definitely get there early. If it's your first Chargers game ever, get there very early. You do not have to park in the pink lot, but go to the pink lot. That's where all the tailgating, the Thunder Alley stuff is. So get there. They probably pack up, or are packed up an hour before the game even starts. So don't get there at, I don't know, it's a Sunday night game, right? So don't get there at 4 and assume the party is going to continue. Get there early, enjoy getting there early, and then go to the team store, go walk around. If you've been to SoFi, it's beautiful. It is nothing like it is at night. At night, SoFi Stadium is a wonder of the world. It is like being at the Roman Coliseum. It's gorgeous. So please get there early, take pictures, go to the team store. They've had team exclusive merch every single game this year, as is last year. They seem to have been giving out more things as well to Chargers fans. Like I got a towel. I think there was foam fingers another game. So
the foam fingers, they were good foam fingers. They were nice.
Yeah, I wish I were there for that. Well, no, I lied. It was not worth a foam finger to go watch that game, but they might give out something of their own. It might not matter because of all the terrible towels that will be there, but get there early. If you've bought tickets, all good. If you haven't, I would just try to find ones around Chargers fans, just because it's going to be a pretty big takeover by Steelers fans.
Yeah, I am a little annoyed at that, but Steelers fans travel. There's a ton of Steelers fans in LA, so if you cannot make that game, please be sure to sell your tickets to Chargers fans. Don't just put them on Ticketmaster or whatever. Those are all great recommendations. I would also say, like, if you haven't booked a hotel already, try and stay in like the El Segundo, Manhattan Beach area. We had a couple people this week who were like, "Oh, we're going to stay in downtown LA. That's close enough, right?" It really isn't. And I also would not recommend staying down there. Like, generally speaking, if you can stay in El Segundo, Manhattan Beach area, it's really nice, great restaurant scene. You get more of kind of like the coastal vibe. So if you haven't booked a hotel yet, I would definitely stay in that area.
Yeah. Yep.
Kyle Loomis, nice bounce back win tonight. Great to see Vidal become what we always thought he could be. Hopefully they take this momentum, get healthy, and go on a good run these crucial weeks. Go Bolts. We kind of talked about this last week where, if the Chargers are going to be a playoff team, these next 4 games, including the Vikings game, I kind of felt like they needed to go 3-1. And obviously that's starting out tonight with a win very much makes that a possibility. You could potentially go 4-0. If you're talking about a 2-2 situation, then you come out of the bye in the next 5 games, you beat the Raiders, obviously. But then their final 5 games, it's really hard for me to look at that and find more than 2 wins. You're talking about Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans, at Denver. Very difficult finishing stretch there. So winning tonight is huge for the Chargers. Next Gen Stats had it as like a 20% difference if they won versus lost in their playoff percentages. So it was a nice bounce back win, but from a playoff perspective, it was huge. Like monumentally changes the way that the rest of the season can go for them.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll end up winning the division, but just keep yourself alive as your players. Again, not necessarily today, but get healthier, get to the postseason, then do your damage.
Do you know enough about the tiebreaker rules if like the Chargers and the Chiefs split? Like how that, if they're tied, like how, like
so
they're tied and they split, then what does it
I
go
believe
to
that then it goes to your division record and then AFC record, and then I want to say points for. Someone could let me know, but it's pretty sure it's something like that. It's overall record, head to head. I believe divisional, then AFC, then maybe strength of schedule. But yeah, then it's by points.
Okay. Yeah. So points. Okay. All right.
Just don't make it a conversation. Just win.
Yeah. Don't make it a conversation.
I don't want to math.
Yeah. And somebody, for the love of God, like beat the Broncos in a normal way. Like, I'm so sick of
If you're up by 31, can you do me a favor and just win the game?
Dude, like losing a game when you're up. What were the Giants were up like 22-0 or whatever?
It was 31-0.
It was 31-0. I thought the Broncos had like
they scored 35 unanswered or whatever it was, didn't they?
Yes, but I thought that anyways, regardless, losing that way and then your kicker misses 2 PATs, like that's a horrible way to lose. Yeah, because they scored to go up 2 with like a minute left, and then the kicker missed the PAT.
Oh,
so then the field goal won it.
That's right. Yeah, they were up 26-8.
26-8, and they lost. That's crazy. And then the freaking Jets, like, can you have any semblance of an offense, please? And like,
yeah, that's true. I forgot the Jets also did that. Yeah, good gracious.
So these teams that are playing the Broncos, like, be normal, please. My goodness.
Mm-hmm. Feels like some Chiefs.
Sorry?
Feels like some Chiefs voodoo.
I think you're like, I think you're like, I don't know if it's just me, but you froze there for a second.
My stream is poo. Anyway, move on.
CJD800 wants to know, did Bobby Hart play well tonight? I feel like he did okay. The defense seemed much more aggressive. We need to continue that. I will be out for LA for the Pittsburgh game. Hey, same. Hope to see you there. So a lot of people in the chat going to Pittsburgh for that game. The Chargers have done a very good job of protecting Bobby Hart. I will say that. It looks a lot better this week than it did against Miami, where he very clearly looked like a guy who had not played in an NFL game in multiple years. There were no false starts today, no holding penalties. So, he's clearing the bar, like similar to Foster Sorrell. Like, just don't have a drop off, and he's clearing that bar. I haven't been super paying attention to him on tape, so I'll do that this week and let you guys know. But credit to him for, again, not blowing it. That's really like the biggest thing is like avoid the Avalanche games, and you can be a good backup.
Yep. Don't mind that at all.
Dre says that he found a Nice LT jersey thrifting this morning. Should have known our luck was shifting, especially in the navies, which should also be our primary unis.
Dude, seeing them on the players live when they're doing the pregame stuff, if they wanted to just get rid of their other jerseys and make that the primaries, I'm fine with that. Honestly, they're just beautiful.
Yeah, and I knew the helmet would pop, but just the simple thing of having the bolts all colored in with the white, it just pops, man. And they need to be worn more than once a year. I will say that. Like once a year with these uniforms is definitely not enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll ditch the yellows, but I don't think anybody really liked them. Like I don't know any person who was asked about the uniforms, like from a national perspective. JJ Watt was like, yeah, they were Savannah bananas. Like it was not good. So I don't know if they'll keep them. The navies though are such a hit. Like they have to be worn more than once a year next year.
Yeah, they're those jerseys are pretty rough. You know that they were rough and that they knew the reception was rough when Jason Levine, who does great work with the Chargers overall, came out on Twitter and was like, yeah, I know this wasn't like one of the ones you wanted, so hopefully you guys will trust us and it'll work out. And then it's not been great.
Garrett L. Sasser says Greg Rosenthal was spot on. We are spoiled with you guys relaying content to the fan base. Who are your two game balls? Defense took a hit, but do you feel the mini buy minimizes most of them? So I greatly appreciate Garrett. He's been a very loyal supporter, despite bouncing around multiple countries and being a deployed military member. Just really appreciate everything he does for all of us and for his support of the podcast. So big shout out to Garrett there. In terms of game balls, I would say cop-out answer has to be Joe Alt. Just the offense looks so much drastically different.
Yeah.
And then Eboigbe, I think on defense is a good one.
It.
Like just his development as a pass rusher has really shown up, and 2 big sacks tonight. So I'll give a shout out to him.
I mean, I don't know. There's so many obvious ones. I will, because I never really get to do this. I will take the game ball, think about it, but I will give it to Greg Roman. I have to give him credit. You coordinated the best offense in the first half of any team this season, which is strange because I just saw the Chargers play the Colts.
Yeah.
Somehow that was better. Somehow the Chargers tonight were better.
Yeah, I would never have guessed that was the case. Like the offense looked good, but I would have definitely guessed that it would have been the Colts. The Colts have had a couple of great first halves. Obviously the Lions have had a couple of great first halves, so that's a very positive stat for the Chargers offense. Daniel Migao 966 says, shout out to Kamani. Thought he stepped up big tonight. Had a couple great blocks too. We agree. We talked about that. Bolt up, guys. Nice to have some good energy and vibes. Thanks again, you guys. You rock.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch the film on Vidal.
Yeah, should be a ton of fun. Although I will not get to watch the film until probably Sunday, but it's what it is.
Fair.
Wyatt Herp, I'm guessing. Pros, Trey Harris is such a nasty run blocker. He is the only receiver on obvious rundowns. Cons, every time Bud Dupree was on the field, Vikings got a big play. I think we might see 2 pressures for Bud Dupree tomorrow. There were a couple actually decent rushes from him tonight. So, it is what it is. But obviously, you guys know I'm not a huge Bud Dupree fan.
I think he looked a bit more aggressive as a rusher, so it's possible. I'll take it.
Also says Alex with the Joe Biden look, aviators, and sounded only slightly more coherent.
No comment. Thank you, Wyatt Earp.
Also said that you need more fiber, Tyler.
I don't think it was a lack of fiber issue there.
It was a cheese issue.
Yeah, I think it was. I ate a lot of dairy and I just crossed 30, and so here we are.
Yeah, that hits different for sure. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man says, "Gonna ask my GF if we can name our first child Oronde Gadsden. Wish me luck."
Go for it.
Yeah, that's gonna be a popular one. I feel like Alex almost has to do that.
Yeah. This is Kamani Oronde, Insdorf. Very traditional Jewish name for Kamani Oronde. Insdorf.
Josh back with another one says, congrats on getting the shout out from the national media. Are you sure you guys want to give that up to have kids? Anybody can have kids. Not anybody could have film reviews that get mentioned on national TV. Hashtag wrap it up.
Hashtag wrap it up. Oh man, good stuff overall. When he comments these things, it's nice that everyone kind of understands Josh, where he's coming from. I'm sure someone might take it seriously.
Yeah.
Yes. Do we want to give up to have kids? I don't want to give it up to have kids, but we'll see. But PMT keep popping up in the chat. We can wait. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. I love and appreciate all the support, and the recognition is really, really sweet this past week. But I got T-ball games to attend and ballet recitals to go to and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Kevin Kernick with a super sticker earlier. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Kevin.
Steven Rutledge said, did you guys see the Mac hype video? It has me BTFU so hard for this game. These uniforms need to stay and bury the banana ramas. Is there a Mac hype video?
I didn't see it.
Interesting. Obviously, the Chargers hype video was great. Francisco Luna says he flew in from Denver for this game and it was a great vibe. Shout out Bull King. Yeah, that's a great game to attend, man. I know a lot of people who flew out for this game. So it was a game you were rewarded with. I always feel bad when people fly out from, obviously Denver's not super far away, but people who flew from different countries to go to last week's game, that I just feel bad for you. But if you flew in for tonight, it was great.
Yeah, I mean, Blitz Talk was in here earlier. They flew out for the Ravens game last year, and it was the awful Quentin Johnston game. So, name your child PMT. There you go. Is it PMT the three initial PMT Haglund PMT shoe and have a nice ring to it? I don't know. I'll just do all my streams from the toilet at this point. Literally all my streams.
I can't believe they're still watching, man. We're an hour and 47 minutes in.
I'm not even watching anymore. So thank you for I'm not even really here. So thank you.
What is reality, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Trevor says Chargers flu game 2025. Was somebody else sick today? I guess Jamari was sick.
Jamari. Again, it's working.
Somebody gets sick a week.
Somebody gets sick.
Yeah.
Share a drink with Jamari every week. It works.
Yeah. And then Lucas Williams, I don't know if there was a question attached to this, but appreciate that nonetheless.
Lucas Williams, were your parents big Star Wars fans by chance? They didn't pick his last name, but
he did have did memes get the number?
Which number?
Oh, they do lottery numbers after each show.
Oh. Gotcha. Sorry. What's Bozeman's number? 75? Go with it.
I feel like memes, if you're still listening, I feel like you have to do a Chargers related number for your next number. So you can do 10 or do 37 because Rodney Harrison night and they scored 37. I feel like that's pretty good.
I don't mind that.
But best of luck with your next number memes.
Yeah,
Max. I still can't believe that's happening right now. All right, hour 48. We still got 800 people in the chat. Appreciate the heck out of you guys. Tyler, any other final thoughts before we head out?
Anybody got Pepto? No, I'm fine. All's good. Again, we're so stupid. I don't know why people. Greg Rosenthal listens to the show. PMT is watching the show, and it's like the podcast sometimes. But you know what? It's all about the wins after a game like this. We talked about the game, but we're just having fun. We're just two dudes who love watching the Chargers and kind of riff on whatever. It's positive vibes. I promise you, if it weren't like this, I don't think the podcast on Sunday was all that entertaining or interesting.
No.
Not that this is necessarily interesting to hear these comments, but the vibes are good. So we're just having fun.
Yeah,
see you in Nashville, Tyler. Yeah, don't count on it, guys.
If you are going to Nashville, hopefully you guys are all meeting up and can sit together and make some noise on next Sunday. That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, the vibes being as good as they are right now after how bad they were last week. Yeah, it was a big change for the Chargers, which is great. Win next week in Nashville. If they can beat the Steelers on Sunday Night Football, that would be huge for the vibes. So just hopefully trending in the right direction. Obviously, the 3-0 start was electric. You get so many people injured. You go 1-3 over the next 4. Let's get a hot streak going here and just get some of that momentum back and the vibes back from the first 3 games would be fantastic. So,
Heck yeah.
Like I mentioned, Brooke and I are going to Utah. We're flying out tomorrow night. I will not be here for a film review. I'll leave that up to Tyler if he wants to do one or have Alex on here or something like that. And then I will be back for our Tuesday show, whatever Tuesday show we decide. I guess we could do film review then, but that would be kind of late. But anyways, I'll be back on Tuesday for our regular show, Thursday preview, and then Titans game after that. So appreciate you guys so much for tapping in, and vibes have been great. So let's keep it going all the rest of the weekend. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. As always, bolt up.